Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to round number 7 of the Kinnekulle Formula 1000 Championship. We are here, and well, at the moment, the cars are going out for qualifying. We're at Kinnekulle Ring. This is a track that is 2 kilometers long, just a bit over 2 kilometers long, has enough challenging corners, and well, turn 1 is definitely one of the trickiest ones at the moment. Elias Adestam out in as first. The lifetime will pick up as soon as we have our first car across the start-finish line. That's when everyone will pop up there. But yeah, round 7 of the championship. The cars are out qualifying. They have 15 minutes to put their best lap time in this early morning. They were in the 59 seconds. There was one driver in the 58.9s, and that was Joel Granfors. He was up into the 58.9 second mark. Under a minute this track. It's something we do not see a lot on the calendar. For example, when we were at Järvåsen last time, the cars were doing about 1:11, 1:12. Cross start finish, we're racing into the first corner. Kevin Sørensen trying to make his way around the outside of Elias, and he manages to do so. So he will now be at the front of the field, trying to make his way forward. So then, 14 drivers out on track at the moment. Jonathan Ölander, Johan Valand, Elias Adestam, Joel Granfors, Kevin Sørensen, Andreas Skotebo, Dante Johansson, Christian Lovén, Fredrik Lindholm, Victor Karlsson, Oskar Melsig, Robin Hofström, Rodrigo Seabra, who was surprisingly quick in that practice session. He finished that session in second, a 10th and a half off Joel Granfors, so a good result for him. And Alexia Danielsson in P14 at the moment. She's the 14 driver out on track. She was quick, finished in the top 5 in the practice session as well. We're waiting for the first lap times to trickle in. 12 and a half minutes left here in this qualifying session. Let's have a look at the championship then. How is the championship standings here for Kinnekulle? Dante Johansson is champion in the Junior Driver Championship for 2023. He took that championship in the last race at Järvåsen. Andreas Skotebo in second, had a Victor Karlsson. Then Robin Hofström in fourth, Alexia Danielsson in fifth, Rodrigo Seabra in sixth. He could gain some positions in the championship, especially there in the Junior Championship, where he's proving quick on this track. Then in 7th, Christian Lovén, Richard Olsen in 8th, 9th, Oskar Melsig, 10th, Carl Svensson, Fredrik Lindholm in 11th, Jonathan Ölander in P12, Pete Norbuck 13th, Louise Larsen 14th. She raced only at Järvåsen last time round, and Kevin Riedel with 0 points at the moment. He is in P17. Well then, for the Senior Championship, it looks like Kevin Sørensen is running away with that one at the moment. He is 32 points ahead of Elias Adestam. Then Joel Granfors in third, and of Johan Valand in fourth. Fifth, Linus Granfors. He won't be here this weekend. He raced in the Next Gen Cup earlier on this weekend on the Thursday and Friday. And Mikael Kapas, of course, owner of the series, he is in 6th in that championship on 26 points. Won't be racing here this weekend either. For the Rookie Championship, Dante Johansson also leading that one, ahead of Rodrigo Seabra. Richard Olsen in 2nd, 3rd or 4th, Carl Svensson, 5th, Fredrik Lindholm, Jonathan Ölander in 6th, 7th, Pete Norbuck, Louise Larsen in 8th, and Kevin Riedel in P9. That is how all championships are looking at the moment. 11 minutes to go, and Joel Granfors at the moment at the top of the standings. Track has been getting progressively quicker and quicker during the day. 58.8 is the lap time that Joel has been able to put in, and that is about a 10th quicker than he did earlier this morning. Rodrigo Seabra is still in second, this time though on a 59.225. He did a 59.0 earlier on this morning. Dante Johansson, he moves up to second now on a 59.098. I think Rodrigo Seabra was about 200ths of a second quicker earlier this morning. Kevin Sørensen in fourth. He did this morning's practice session on his practice tires. Some of the drivers were out there to kind of feel their race tires out on how it's going to be in the race tomorrow. We have 3 races tomorrow, which will be exciting. At Järvåsen, of course, we had qualifying and race 1 on the Saturday and 2 races on the Sunday. Alexia Danielsson, at the moment, she is in P6. Once again up there. Victor Karlsson in 7th. He, of course, struck by a out of fuel moment. Yellow-Rosen engineer or the mechanic did not put enough fuel in the car. He managed to make it to the end, but with some incredible fuel saving at the end for him to be able to actually make it to the end. Then this Elias Adestam, he came here today. The other drivers had some practice yesterday. They had some open practice sessions, so a lot of laps turned for them. Elias Adestam arrived later because he was racing in the Next Gen Cup, won in race number 2 there, and was on the podium in race number 1. So all in all, a successful Thursday and Friday for Elias. Also moving closer to P1 Championship. Linus Gronfors also is driven in the Aquila Formula 1000 series. So for Elias, a good weekend so far. He's looking to continue that weekend. Kevin Sørensen looks like he has come into pit lane to check with his engineer. He's done that in practice several times as well, just to check up on how it's going, check up where he is. And I can tell him at the moment that he is in P4, and there's Skotsboot in P5, Alexia Danielsson in 6th, and Victor Carlson in 7th. Well then, with about 8 minutes 40 seconds left here in this qualifying session, who are the contenders for that pole? It looks like at the moment that will be Joel Gronfors, Dante Johansson, Rodrigo Seabra, Kevin Sørensen, and Andreas Skotsboot. Those drivers are close to each other, especially coming through P5 to P7. There's only 1.5 tenths in between 3 drivers there. At the moment we have the whole top 7 within a second, and if we don't count Joel Gronfors, we have till P8, till Elias Adestam, all within a second. Because at the moment, why I don't count Joel Gronfors, that's because he's 3.5 tenths off of Dante Johansson, so quite a commanding lead for Joel Gronfors. He's doing great in the championship, hasn't raced every round. For example, for Joel Gronfors, the only round he hasn't really been there and hasn't scored any points was at Sturup. That was the 16th to the or the 15th till the 18th of June. For the rest, so far, he has been here every round. That round, he gave the car to Linus Gronfors. Linus managed to pick up 95 points, which is more than enough for him to find himself at the moment in P5 in the championship standings for the senior drivers in 2023. Well then, at the moment we're looking at some good improvements from Rodrigo Seabra. He has the quickest first sector of anyone. It's led by Elias Adestam. Elias notifying that he's giving him the slipstream. Alexia Danielsson is sticking right with him as well. Last couple of corners is such a tricky complex, really. You drop down the hill across the line for all 3 of them. Where does Rodrigo Seabra go to? And it's not an improvement. He did a 59.592. Lost all that time, really, in the last sector, in the last part of the track. Dante Johansson in P2. Of course, like I said, he has wrapped up the Rookie Championship and is close to wrapping up the Junior Championship this weekend, with Andreas Skotsboot more than 100 points behind. So if he has a good weekend, he could wrap up 2 championships in the span of 2 rounds. Joel Gronfors still has that commanding lead. His last lap time, a 58.778. His quickest lap time, 58.766. That shows that he is consistent with that lap time as well. I'm pretty sure that a 58.7, somewhere in that region, is also the track record. So he's close to beating that in the Aquila. Of course, this is the track record for the Aquilas. We had a couple of 52-second lap times out there in the earlier sessions. Not from these Aquilas, but just to make sure that you guys all at home know that this is the Aquila lap time record here at this track. 58.7 sets by Joel Gronfors, and it looks he's done that without any slipstream. Keeps up improving. As you can see on the right-hand side of screen for a moment, Kevin Sørensen dropping down the order. There is a whole train of cars coming past in that train. Lias Sadestam, the 14, the 33 of Rodrigo Sabra, Alexa Danielsson, Kevin Sørensen now into that train as well. Victor is in that. Oscar is in it as well in the 44. So a whole lot of drivers trying to find that slipstream, because it is going to help you a lot. Jonathan Earl on the P13. He's driving around on his own. Might explain why he is that far down the order without any slipstream, really. Gains you about 3/4 tenths here on this track. A good tow. Danielsson in that Husky chocolate sponsored car. She's found their way to the front on her own now. At the moment, she's improving up to P3 last time round. 59.205 from Alexa Danielsson. Took one pole position earlier on in the season. Position for Alexia Danielsson came in the form of round 2. Of round 3 of the championship, excuse me. That was at Sturup, where they did a couple of weekends. The own weekend was a double header, really. So on Saturday, qualifying 3 races. On Sunday, qualifying 3 races. So that was enough to look forward to. It looks like also Andreas Scottebu's come back into pit lane in the 14. He heads out, and he heads out now. Joel Grandfors still at the front. He's improved, ladies and gentlemen. It's half a second at the front of the field now. And I don't want to be demotivating for anyone expecting a race at the front, because it can still happen. But Joel Grandfors has last time round set a 58.5 4-0, and that is 5 tenths ahead of anyone else in the championship at the moment. Now Dante Johansson improves to a 59.002, improves by a couple of hundredths, but it just isn't enough to get close to Joel Grandfors. It's going to take a massive lap to get up there, and he is now, I'm pretty sure, improved the official track record in the Aquila in an official session. At the moment, the weather, the track is great. The track is up for it, for that record lap time. It's about 19-18 degrees here. Expecting the track temp to be somewhere around the 22-23 region, with the sun beating down on the track. But Grandfors ahead by 4.5 tenths of a second. It's, yeah. He's put down his marker for today. He's also had a slower lap. He's had a cool down lap. He's gone back now. Victor at the back. He's in that big group, so he's done that with slipstream. 58.958 now for Dante Johansson. He's slowly but surely improving as well. So we're seeing some quicker lap times pop in. The problem is, though, for all of these drivers, is that there's a maximum of about 1 or 2 more laps in it until the checkered flag is going to fly. Kevin Sørensen is flying as well there out on track. At the moment, Kevin in P5 is leading the way in the senior championship, so for him this is crucial. It looks like there's just too much traffic out there for him at the moment. Finds himself at the heads of that group now. We're going to see them come cross start finish now. Here you have that group. Look how many cars are in it. 7 cars are in one train, just trying to find that extra slipstream, trying to find that extra bit of speed that they need, because that tells you how close it is. Kevin Sørensen dropping back, giving that one up, and that means that Kevin Sørensen is not going to go any quicker than P5 at the moment. Not going to go any quicker than a 59.255. Ahead of him it's Rodrigo Seabra on a 59.225. He's 0.03 of a second quicker Dante Johansson didn't improve last time round. Someone who did improve, Kevin Sørensen, that time round, but it just wasn't enough to gain any positions. Checkered flag is out. So coming across the line now means that your qualifying is over. Getting that checkered flag first is the 14 of Andreas Kotzebue. He's finished and he didn't improve on that last lap. He finishes in P6. Rodrigo Seabra, don't know where he is, but he was quick this early morning. He's coming across the line now. And he doesn't improve. 59.416. Looks like the end of the qualifying was the quickest into pits for Jule Grandfors, Dante Johansson. Alexia Danielsson finishes this qualifying in P3. Rodrigo Sabra in 4th. The only ones coming across the line, Robin Hofström in P12. Where is he going to go into? And it's not going to be any quicker for Robin either. Stays in P12. Johan Valand found an improvement on the last lap, a 1:02.641. And Jonathan Erlander in 13th on a 1:00.743 ahead, behind Robin Hofström on a 1:00.567, and then Fredrik Lindholm on a 1:00.359. Well then, that was qualifying for today. And let's have a look at the top of the standings then. Jule Grandfors finishes this qualifying 4/10 ahead of Dante Johansson in P2. He was on a 58.958, the only two drivers into the 58. Alexia Danielsson in P3. Good qualifying from Rodrigo Seabra in 4th. Good qualifying for him as well. Kevin Sørensen, the leader in the senior championship, he finds himself in P5 with some work to do. Andreas Kotzebue in 6th. Victor Carlson in 7th, Christian Lovett in 8th, 9th for Elias Adestam. He was struggling with understeer in practice, seemingly, as we look at the times, he hasn't been able to fix that. Oscar Melstick in 10th, Fredrik Lindholm in 11th, Robin Hofström in 12th, Jonathan Erlander in 13th, and Johan Valander in P14. That's it for qualifying. Thank you all very much for watching. Join back tomorrow for the 3 races here at the track, well, at the Kinnekulle Ring. Till tomorrow, goodbye and see you there.